number 6 is Christy Donnell. Thank you very much for doing this.
I've often been told I'm a know-it-all. So I wrote a poem about who knows. Well, I have to say that I am a know-it-all. Who knows everything, no matter how small. There are things you might think I as yet can't tell. But I know about all, but I know all about that, and more as well. And what you whisper when you think no one can hear, trust me, I can lip read, have no fear. I know what you think before you have that thought, and all about when you and her last fought. I also know that you chatted up her at the bar, just to see would she go with you and how far. And I saw you flirting with him over there. Your body language made your intentions very clear. I know all the little secrets that you keep, though you might think you have hidden them deep. I know the things you do every day and don't tell. These things I know, and I know more as well. I know just how much you have had to drink before you go into the pub, and how many you sink. I know it's to save the price that they charge, but then you buy drink for anyone at large. I know that stood here as we give our rendition, each of us will try hard to jockey for position. I know that while you cook dinner at home, there are times when you'd rather be left on your own. And as you return from work feeling like a giant, it's not dinner you're thinking of, or her, it's a pint. You see, there's nothing I don't know, or would ever tell. And you sit there thinking that this man ain't well. Well, I know what I know, and what's more, it's true. No one on earth knows as much as I do. If you sit there thinking he's someone who knows, I'm always right, and there's times it's come to blows. So to justify no one, here's what I'll say. I have learned this much each and every bloody day. What it boils down to, and here is the thing, I know an awful lot about nothing, and nothing about an awful lot of things. And something Sheila said to me last week made me think of being...
He knows nothing about nothing.
So I wrote this one about being half awake. Sandy, stop please. It's not that kind of one. Upon waking each morning she asks, would you like tea? Oh, she does it so nicely each day, just for me. The reply is always the same, yes, thank you my dear. If all you're offering is tea then, okay, that's clear. Stop laughing now. Are you being coy with me at first light? Mind how you answer though, or you'll get such a fright. You look beautiful every morning, dear, as you rise from our bed. Tread carefully now, men, or this tea will end in your head. First thing in the morning, I do not need your praise. While you are in bed, sprawled out as you laze. It only takes 3 or 4 minutes for the kettle to boil. I'm planning some love, while my plans spoil. So what are you up to today, my sweet thing? All sorts of stuff as my tea she brings. What's got into you laying there in the bed? Are you alright? Have you banged your head? Did you have a dream as all night you've slept? I think strange thoughts into your mind have crept. You might want to get up and move about. Or give me a bloody hand in the kitchen, she shouts. Here I am in bed, naked and all forlorn, trying all I know to get her to return, using every one of my wily old ways, but no such luck, she's not fazed. She's rising now, and my woman is not slack, as I reach out and rub the small of her back. I'm not going yet. I see, she says, as to caress I begin. Let us be clear before this bed I get in. Is it loving you're after at this hour of the day? Out with it now, just let me hear you say it. And chasing it while you're still half awake? Have you any idea, for God's sake? Let's make a choice. Is it loving you want, or just tea? Either one is good, and will be just as happy for me. Come on now, man. What have you got to hide? Think long and hard before you decide. To make your mind up, and be sure about it. I have timed the kettle and you both take 3 minutes.
You can always depend on him. That's uncertain. That's Christy Donnell, ladies and gentlemen. Those who don't know him, that's who he is. 3 cheers for Christy Donnell. There we are. And our next poet, please give a very warm welcome please to Terri Murray. Thank you very much indeed.
Okay. I'm going to read a poem called
Eleusinian. It's sort of loosely based on the Eleusinian myths and the Greek myths, the Demeter and Persephone story. They had these, I suppose they had these rituals during the summer, and this is my Eleusinian. It's also a poem of absolute trust. You put your new war horse through his paces, led him around the little garden in Ballyfermot, petrol throbbing in his heart. One foot danced on a stirrup, swung the other one over the saddle, and I jumped up behind. We roared with triumph as you turned the key, and the beast farted into life. But when we reached the 7th block, near English's pub, I fell. Standing on the bridge, I waved you off. I learned early that sometimes men have better things to do. Instead, I tried to play noughts and crosses with brachiopods and crinoids fossilized in the limestone. Below me, I could hear a whispering as seductive as one of your fairy tales, and followed it down the bank. Heart's tongue gossip with red valerian, alluvied in the walls. Mother of thousand trails her fronds, all the way down to the water, and hummed an old washing song, gleamed from granite, brought all the way from Dalkey. Tramped through horse trails of grass and reeds, left my sandals to rest with glyceria and rue. Stopped to touch a toe flag, this flower of desolate places. Preened myself in the watery mirror, Narcissus was only in the halfpenny place. A mallard and her chicks swam by and clucked. A yellow lily shook her head, disdainful of such vanities. Poked my image with a stick into shards of mica. Splayed my wet fingers and saw a whitetail playing with the turnstone. Greeted him like a friend. Born in an eggshell, christened in a handcart, he hopped up and settled his feathers on my hand. I could hear the engine in the distance before you stopped and scrambled down the bank, calling out my name. Tessie, me heart, me chicken, in your amber eyes were trapped small specks of anger and pain. Your fingers shook as you plucked a lollipop of pink clover from my mouth. Through the fabric of my summer dress, I could feel the welts on your shoemaker's hands before you swung me into the air. I was a fuchsia, held on a graceful stem. I think I lost my fear of death that day, and never could accept the concept of hell. My childish wisdom knew it for what it was, just a shadow projected from the darkest part of the self. I have faltered and fallen many times since, but believe when my walking and gathering are done, you will halt at the corner where Kilmainham meets Inchicore. Come galloping back to find me. Thank you.
This is actually my first and only book that I actually self-published, I suppose, and I found one of them, two of them actually. So I just read. It's great to see a different audience because you can read the old stuff. And this is Memories in Verse. I remember in school when the desks were brand new and the blackboards were black, free from chalk. When the teacher would belt you if you didn't speak up, and he'd belt you again if you talked. I remember the leather when the stitching was raw. I shook hands with it many a time, and my eyeballs filled up with those watery tears, but I'd never give in and start crying. I remember old Dooley, Brother Edmund and Quinn, there was Cotter, Casey and Brett. At 11 o'clock old Mrs. Meany would hand out the milk and the bread. I remember the bell and we'd all run like hell, and the day Tony Lynch broke the glass. On Thursdays, Sedality at St. Manchur's Church, and on Sundays, 'twas 10 o'clock Mass. I remember the blazer in the blue and the gold, and the matching cap on the head. The socks were grey to suit the trousers, we looked quite well, it was said. I remember Spud Murphy, Delaney and Allen, Mr. Flynn and young Mr. Mack, and the memories I have are precious to me, for at times it's nice to look back. I remember the hurling, the cheers and the chant, all the lads that played on the team. Yup, yup, yup for the Ola Cup. 2, 4, 6, 8, who do we appreciate? It all just seems like a dream. I remember old Tully out there in the grass with the boys up on his back, And the memories are clear of the lads that were there, so we all enjoyed the old crack. I remember the sports day and the khaki pants with the dumbbells and flags in the air, and I thought I was flying in the egg and spoon race where the egg went up in the air. I remember the school with pride and with joy, and I thank all the teachers I've named for the belt round the ear and the slap of the leather all through my life I have gained. It taught me respect for my family and friends. It left me with memories of joy, and I'll always remember the school called St. Munchin's, because I went there when I was a boy. And I'll read this one now. It's actually a gentleman that asked me to write this for him many years ago, but he's died there about a year ago. And I had to get him to sign it, to be able to publish it, because he asked me to write a poem about him, and he wanted the nice things in the poem, but the way I remembered him was all the kind of real things about him. So I called the poem Paddy O'Brien, which was his name, which is kind of what he signed the poem on about. With froth-soaked lips memories surfaced, and beneath his soft hat through glassy eyes fermenting thoughts will rise. Entering with I remember, he will reminisce on days amiss when times were hard. Murmuring to himself, he will say, where does time go from June to May? But deep down from his deepest thoughts a voice will whisper fruitful thoughts. How would you know? You're drunk from dawn till dusk and dusk till dawn. Wondering he will ponder, if only I could turn back the clock. The same voice from deep within, quick to remind him of his sin, will say, no hope, old stock, no hope. Telling him his time is gone, you've wasted it by doing wrong. With tears lodged in eyelashed lids, remembering years with wife and kids, he'd shudder. Then raise his glass, salute his soft hat rim. With bottoms up he'll start to sing the truth about himself. Black porter, you're my downfall, I love your creamy head. You know I'm not a well man, and soon I will be dead. So pour me out a whiskey, and I'll be on my way. Black porter, you're the bastard that has driven me astray. I've lost my wife and children, I've lost my job as well. I've lost my pride and dignity, of booze I reek and smell. You know I'm not a well man, and soon I will be dead. Black porter, you're a bastard, but I love your creamy head.
Tom is always humorous and then put a song full of everything.